Okay, so we're going to make some Wonderpot. Wonderpot is a type of spaghetti-like meal that is way more delicious than spaghetti because, and this is what I like about it, you don't just put spaghetti in water, wait for it to, to be done and then drain the water out. No, this cooks with the vegetable broth in it and all the spices and the oil and everything. So as it's cooking, as the noodles are cooking, it's absorbing all of the flavors of everything that we're going to put in it. Also, it's just called, it's one pot. You don't have to dirty a bunch of dishes. It is my favorite recipe by far, not because it's the most delicious, but because it's the quickest to make, it is the cheapest to make, and it is the easiest to make. So we're going to make some one pot. This pot is huge, but I'm currently using the pot I usually use to make some from scratch beans. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this giant pot. I've already mentioned that you're going to be using vegetable broth. So I'm going to pull that out of the fridge. Oh. Okay. So I've got vegetable broth, onion, garlic. You want linguine, not spaghetti. I guess you could use spaghetti, but linguine is like 10 times better. Alright, so I grabbed the list of ingredients here, and I've got, well, I'll just go like this. I don't know if you can read that, but I'll read it. 4 cups of vegetable broth, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 8 ounces of chopped spinach. I use frozen spinach, and it's in the freezer. 1 can tomatoes diced. I use fire roasted tomatoes. 1 medium onion. I don't use an entire medium onion, that's crazy. 4 cloves of garlic. I don't use 4 cloves. That's just me. Half a tablespoon of dried basil, half a tablespoon of dried oregano, 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and black pepper to taste. Okay, so I have been doing this for a while, so I don't follow the recipe exactly, but you'll get the idea of what it's like to make it, just from me making it. The first thing I like to do is to have my onions ready, because I like to have the vegetable broth in there with the linguine and then the onions on top, everything on top, so that it's like kind of sinking into it while the noodles are cooking. In terms of chopping up the onion, you don't want to chop actually. What you want is the slices of onions. I like to make them thin, just so that they cook really, really well. And you could picture this probably. Okay, so here I have one of the pieces, right? When you're pulling up the noodles with your fork, this is gonna get wrapped up in your fork too. So instead of chopping little squares, which would just kind of sit there, you're gonna actually be able to enjoy the onion, which if you're not into onions, I don't even understand why you make this, but if you like onions, this is an awesome recipe for you. Okay, now in terms of the garlic, if you don't like to actually chew on garlic, you don't have to cut it into pieces. You can crush it. Once you peel it, you can crush it and then put it in there just so that it releases its flavors into the dish. But you don't have to. You don't have to chop it into pieces, is what I'm saying. If it really annoys you to eat garlic, I like to chop it into thin slices. This is probably a little bit too big for my liking, so I'll split that. But man, Markel keeps texting me. If you don't know Markel Gibson Band, for the band camp. He's a local singer-songwriter, and right now he's all about his new diet. He keeps testing me about chicken breasts. I don't know. So, as you can see, I didn't measure that out. You already know how I feel about that. Do it exactly as you're told the first time around, and the first couple times around. Eventually you'll get to the point where you know how much to put in. Also, if you want to make, you know, pasta for 2, the recipe's probably good enough for that. I'm only making it for myself, so I'm probably just using about 1.5 cups of vegetable broth. That's why I'm not using nearly as much onion. You know, I am making it just for me right now. One of the things that I do is I always forget to put the olive oil in it. So, I mean, it's probably a good thing to actually have that out, or whatever it is that you might forget. Because in my case, again, it's always the olive oil. Ooh, I have fire roasted diced tomatoes. Okay, I'm gonna use about maybe 1/4 cup of this. It said diced tomatoes, but fire roasted tastes so much better. Oh my god. Okay. So I'm just gonna put about 1/4 of a cup. I'm guessing this is about 1/4 of a cup. I don't know. Like I said, I just guesstimate. And the rest of this, I'm just gonna put back in the fridge for later because I'm gonna use it all up. I might make salsa with that actually, because I've got some serrano peppers. This says garlic. It's actually this is basil. And then you just put in your oregano. And you will figure out how much you like in the red pepper flakes. You want it more spicy, you add more, of course. I like mine to be a little spicy because it cleans out my sinuses. I'm just saying. Okay, so I'm going to cover that, and I'm going to let it get to a point where it's kind of bubbling. And when it starts bubbling, I'm going to uncover it and set my timer. It says on the recipe to simmer for 10 to 15 minutes. You will figure out how much time it actually takes. For me, the magic number is 13. Once it starts bubbling, it takes about 13 minutes, and then the noodles are tender. You're going to just check a noodle, see if it's done. If it's done, it's done. If you notice, I didn't put any frozen spinach in it yet. You can if you want, or if you're like me, you will wait until it's, you know, done or almost done. Actually, I wait till it's done. And once it is done, I put the frozen spinach in it because the frozen spinach is going to, again, level out those temperatures. So that I can go ahead and just eat it as soon as possible. And you top this off with Parmesan cheese, but I will show that. I will get to that. I just want to show right quick what it's like before it starts bubbling. This is what it kind of looks like. If you notice, the majority of the noodles are pretty much submerged. Okay. It ain't bubbling yet. But when it does, I'm going to take the lid off. Well, you know, I just did to show y'all, but I'm going to take the lid off and let it do its thing for about 30 minutes. But I'll show what it's like once it's pretty much done and how that water evaporates. I think it's about time. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm going to leave that off. And I'm going to set my timer for 13 minutes. Alright, this is 2 minutes before the bail goes off, as you can see, most of the liquid is gone. You can see a little bit, but now you see it's gotten pretty dry. Okay, so that's like the three faces of what it's supposed to look like. Alright, so the timer went off. I turned the burner off. I'm gonna cover it so that it doesn't lose heat yet, because what I want to do is I want to get the frozen spinach. I've made the mistake of forgetting the frozen spinach. I'll tell you what happens. It's not that anything bad happens, it's just that it isn't about flavor so much as texture. And you know, if you just have noodles and there's nothing else in there, I mean, the onions are delicious, but should have added more onions. Oh yeah. So if you don't add some frozen spinach, the texture is pretty, I don't know, bland. It just feels kind of, it's not that the pasta isn't cooked right, but it feels doughy in a way. I don't know how to describe it. The chopped spinach definitely gives it richness. I don't know any cooking terms, so feel free to make fun of me for saying that, but it just makes it so much better. And also, it makes it better for you, because spinach is good for you, and I don't know about you, but I don't really like spinach when it's raw. Some people do. My grandma loves it. She makes salads with it all the time. But for me, this is a good way to hide it in something. I'm just gonna leave it in there until it thaws a bit, and by the time it's thawed, everything will be the right temperature for me to actually put a plate and top with some Parmesan cheese. So you don't have to get organic ingredients. That's just what I do, because that's what I choose to do. But it makes me feel better. Okay, I'm gonna serve it, and you can see what it looks like when it's actually cooked. See? The colors are so much nicer now that the spinach is in it. All of that. All that green. If you notice the sauce, I didn't drain this at all or anything. The sauce thickened. Now this is not soupy at all. And right now that it's still hot, I'm going to add some cheese to it. I'm pretty liberal with my cheese. I don't know how you are with your cheese, but I am liberal with my cheese. In fact, I should have gotten a much bigger spoon, but I'm out of spoons. Large spoons. So. Good Lord. Okay. Let's pretend that never happened. And let's do it again. Okay. Okay. So, that's it. That is Wonderpot, and like I said, it takes maybe 15-17 minutes to make altogether with prep.